Hi, I work with a lot of associations and I hear a lot of similar stories about questions, concerns, and success stories and great things happening for associations. So I want to talk about all the things that I'm seeing as well as share some great ideas and tips and tricks along the way. I'm Amber, the founder of Email Maven. Let's dive in. This is part of my 4-part series talking about how to cut down the amount of email. The number one thing I hear from associations is, we send too much email. It might be the case, so this is a 4-part series talking about how to fix that. This is part 2. Part 2 is all about email traffic control. If you have met me, you will hear me talk about email traffic control because it is the number one most important thing we can do to ensure that we have successful emails. So in part 1, I talked about having an advocate in the C-suite. Once you've done that, and you have an overarching vision and plan, you need email traffic control. Now what this looks like is hopefully a dedicated email person whenever it's possible. Even if someone is doing this as part of another job, make sure you have one person as much as possible reviewing, designing, and sending the bulk of emails. Okay, that's really critical. When you have one brain and one set of eyes looking at everything, you're suddenly going to get a bigger picture about what your members are getting and where you need to make changes. When you have a lot of people sending your emails, that's impossible to kind of get together and really make changes to your emails and to make sure that everything's looking good and to really easily identify what needs to be cut. Secondly, you need an email calendar. Hopefully you have an overarching marketing calendar. That's ideal to make sure that as a whole you're communicating well to your members, but specifically an email traffic control calendar is what I like to call it. I'll link ours below. You can start as simple as an Excel sheet that just says, these are the days that emails are going to go out. This is what the email is. This is who it's going to go to. These are blackout dates when we can't send email. Here's our rules about when we can and can't send email. Have that available. Make sure that your main email executor is using it, sharing it with staff. And if you don't have just one person sending email, then make sure everyone who's sending email is properly adding in their emails they're going to be sending, that you have very clear rules about when they should be sent, and that everyone's adhering to them. At the end of the day, you can't cut down the number of emails you're sending if you don't know what you're sending and if you don't have rules. So, some of the rules I recommend you think about that's in this document you can download from us includes don't email all members more than once in a day. You'd be surprised how often that happens. I would even say a few times a week, try not to. Segment as much as possible. Be mindful of holidays. Be mindful of heavy communication days. So if you have an annual conference, cut down on other emails when you're really promoting annual conference hard. If you have a year-end renewal cycle and you got to get everyone renewing as much as possible, wonderful. Cut down other emails around those communications. You got to really get it on there, look at the calendar, and make sure that everyone's clear about what the rules are and what's going out when. And again, best case scenario, if you can get an email executor that can keep an eye on all of the emails, you will eventually cut down on your emails even more, and you're going to see really good results. So that is our tip number 2. Stick around, like and subscribe for number 3 coming out next.